This is New Orleans!
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Alvin. Thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. You're
listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Welcome. Now rocking the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sports talk from your favorite sports fan. We up in this thing. Thank y'all for coming into the stream. Please do me a service by spiking the like button, hitting the share button, hitting the hype button, hype us up, and ultimately hit the subscribe button. The Sports Coma in here. Hey man, listen, today, man, I don't know what the hell happened. We were supposed to have a scrimmage and it turned into something totally different, man. But very interesting, man, to be honest with you. And what we dealing with here, we didn't really get any good work in. I mean, we seen some positive stuff in terms of the defense stepping. We seen Chris Olave torch the secondary for the Cowboys, but I would suggest that we need more matchups against the Dallas Cowboys. I've been saying it for a while. The Atlanta Falcons are our rivals out east, and the Cowboys are the rivals out west. We damn sure need more matchups against the Cowboys. I promise you, it won't be on the level of the Falcons, but more than likely it will be definitely probably our closest foe in terms of getting something done, man. To be honest with you, it was lightning, man. I mean, I would have paid for an organized matchup, but a lot of physical action in this one, man. To be quite honest with you. So big ups to you guys. Appreciate y'all for being in the live. Much love to you guys for being here. We're going to go over a few news and notes of this one, man. Much love to everybody. Yeah, I seen it. You seen it. Well, he didn't suplex him, I guess, what is it? Well, it's a power drive I'm thinking about. I guess, I guess suplex would be the term, but it was Brock Reichsteiner. He did a wrestling move. His father is a WWE. Because I was like, who the hell is number 89? I forgot he was on the team. You remember, he is, according to reports, he's suspended for 6 games. For the for I want to say PED. According to reports, it's saying PED use. That Reichsteiner, number 89, is suspended. And I was like, why? What's going on with that? But it simply is what it is, man. So, man, a lot of crazy stuff at camp. Just crazy stuff, man. No matter how you look at it, man, it was just crazy seeing how that was going. But some positive stuff we seen in the matchup as well. To be honest with you, it was some positive stuff to go along with as well. All right, listen, fam. Shout out to you guys. My connection. I hope my connection is all right here. I'm not in my studio. I'm kind of out and about, so y'all deal with this as well. Big ups to you guys for being in the stream. Let me see about kind of getting stuff here situated as well. But big ups to everybody, man. Good to see OG Jerry. Big ups to you, my brothers. Good to see you in the stream. St. Doug. Brother Byron's in this thing as well. Good to see you, roll. I see you, roll. Much love, fam. Big ups to y'all, man, for being in the stream, man. Yeah. Right now we having a few things, man. I know this internet connection ain't all that, but we're gonna still kind of push on through and make this happen. All right, big ups to you guys, man. I had some footage. I was trying to show y'all something on screen, but I look like I don't know what's going on with this here. But we're gonna keep on rolling on through regardless. We ain't gonna let it stop us. But anyway, let me kind of move on to the next thing if I can, and kind of talk about some of the stuff that we seen in camp, man. I got my news and notes here set, and we'll go about it the way we usually do. All right. Anyway, yes. And by the way, fam, we're working on trying to get the we getting close to the NFC South Roundtable. I know a lot of the family members will ask me about the NFC South Roundtable stuff, and ultimately, man, listen, we working on it, and we got 3 quarters. We got 3 quarters of the guys for the NFC South Roundtable, man. Hold on, let me do this right quick, fam. Maybe my hotspot will work here. Work a little bit better. Let me try that. But we got 3 quarters of the NFC South Roundtable guys together. I think that's about as good as it's gonna get for right now. But we for you guys pretty soon. We kind of shooting at perhaps I don't know. And going here, having a few little problems and hiccups here, so y'all just deal with me here. All right, just deal with me right here. All right, hold on, hold tight. All right, let's move that down. All right, let's see. All right, anyway, let's keep it going. Y'all give me a few minutes. Let me arrange this stuff here. Make sure we got everything working right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Hold tight, fam. Let me get my stuff up on screen right here. All right. All right. Let's start with our number one stuff. I appreciate y'all. Y'all hit the like button as we get going here, and we'll start it off with our first one right here. Actually, that's we'll go back to that Saints versus Cowboys practice chaos, and pretty much the breakdown was the Saints Fight Club madness. It's a Fight Club atmosphere. I'm gonna show y'all some footage as soon as I can, man. I'll show y'all some footage here. I think I had some stuff geared up here, but it for whatever reason it's not working properly. But this is pretty much what we seeing right now, fam. This crap here, and let me pause that. Yeah, so this is what we pretty much seen the Saints and Cowboys situation right here, where ultimately, you know, 6 to 10 separate brawls, according to some estimates, that broke out in Saints camp. And what it did was, even though it was amusing to see the Saints push the Cowboys around, it was pretty fun seeing that happen. But ultimately, man, it was very counterproductive because outside of us getting a couple, some passes in and some throws in to Chris Olave from Tyler Shuck, it was good seeing that happen. But I really would have wanted to get the full effect of the full practice. Constantly have to break up skirmishes and stuff like that. Even though you're showing that you're tough, but at some point you seen on film they had one with Erik McCoy, who's one of the most commonsensical dudes. Erik McCoy rips the guy's helmet off and threw it into the threw it toward the sideline. I'm like, Erik McCoy, what you doing, bro? And they could be saying stuff, whatever they're saying, man, but we got to hold our composure, man. That shows a little bit of emotional immaturity there. We can't be letting the Cowboys get us out of our space and out of our place. So 6 to 10 separate brawls erupted. That was one of the major things that kind of glossed over the other positive stuff that we were doing, that we were seeing, that we are having the Chris Olave catches, him torching people, the defense putting pressure on and stuff like that. Isaac Yiadom got burnt again on the play. He stays getting burnt. It's just amazing. He has a gift for it. But outside of that, the number two, as we go through our 20, I got 20 of these talking points, or these bulletin points I won't go over with you guys. The first one's the Fight Club atmosphere. 6 to 10 separate brawls erupted. Uh, it was number two. Practice nearly ended early. Moore and Schottenheimer discussed stopping it because of the brawls, because it was counterproductive. So guys were like, man, we couldn't totally just get into it and sink into it like we really want to, because it was constantly have to breaking guys up. McCoy's helmet lunch, we talked about that. McCoy ripped off and tossed the Cowboys helmet. I literally just, was watching the footage of him doing that. Just ripped the guy's helmet off and threw it in. Instead of, he was on some Kyle Turley type shit. I'm like, bro, what you do? Uh, Erik McCoy turned into Kyle Turley right quick. What's going on here? He ripped the guy helmet off and threw it. Number four, Matavo, he had a scuffle as well. Matavo wrestled Jaylan Thompson down. That was Thompson wasn't going to win that. Matavo 6'6" and Jaylan Thompson 6'6'1". He wasn't going to win that one. Of course, number five was the Reichsteiner in the melee. So Brock Reichsteiner joined the major multiplayer brawl. That was the biggest one, according to what I seen today. One of the biggest ones, where he just grabbed the guy and just suplexed the guy into the ground, held on to him. That was crazy. Donovan Ezeiruaku, who's a defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys, a pretty good one. He was ejected. Cowboys pass rushers tossed after throwing a punch. He got a little extra and started to try to throw some fists around, and ultimately that got him escorted out of practice. Also, big hits in health watch. So Martin Emerson, he brung the fire today. Clean hit on Ford, and he sparked a sideline confrontation, but it was a clean hit. Number 8, Justin Reed set the tone. Heavy first contact drove the tight end out of bounds. He did some positive stuff in coverage. Had a situation where he fell down. Yiadom had an opportunity in the backfield to guard, I forgot the wide receiver, and he got hit for a touchdown. He burned Yiadom for a touchdown. Now, number 9, Olave injury scare. Now, Chris Olave did get to the medical tent after getting the hit, but he returned back on the field for the final red zone period, when that is something that they had to stipulate, like, okay, we got Chris Olave, he's down. We're dealing with Jordyn Tyson. He is out for the next 2 months, so you won't see him. Yeah, Jalen Polk retired. You have, guys have to step up. So we got Chris Olave, Devon Bailey, who was given a rest day. Guys like, Bryce has to step up. Bryce has to step up. Barrion has to step up. Bub Means has to step up. Kevin Austin Jr. has to step up. Jalen Marino Cropper has to step up. We see Brock Reichsteiner really not doing up, but suplexing guys. The Saints are keeping them around. So I guess, we'll see what happens there. But the wide receiver room, guys, Trey Palmer, I'm going to throw Trey Palmer in there as well. Trey Palmer, all these guys have a extra opportunity to kind of step up and do something positive for the team from the wide receiver room. Now, before we go back to the points, let's look at this, because the Saints did try out a couple of veterans. The Saints tried out some veterans because of the Tyson injury scare. They feel like, hey, man, we might need some veteran help. So what the Saints did, they tried out these two players. Chase Claypool, 6'4", 230-plus pound wide receiver. He was a second-round pick, 49. His career, he had 175 catches, over 2,200 yards, and 13 touchdowns. His scouting report reads rare size and speed. He's a red zone target, vertical threat, physical blocker. Concern is the consistency stuff. He had a long layoff. He's operating with the CFL, and he's seen as a big X as far as the wide receivers position and potential special teams application with Chase Claypool. Then, of course, you look at Josh Reynolds. This is another wide receiver, 6'3", 192 pounds. He is a former fourth-round pick who has over 200 catches, over 3,000 yards, and 20 touchdowns in his time in the NFL. His scouting report is very good route runner, reliable. He's a chain mover, big catch radius, veteran IQ. His concerns is limited yak and explosiveness, right? Makes catches but doesn't climb, and get to the next level. So that's a concern. His best fit, the dependable Z style or a wide receiver three. So the Saints are looking for potential players that they can put into the wide receiver room that can ultimately kind of help keep things going for the black and gold. And that's just something, that we look at and then we want to figure out, what we need to do here, to kind of help this wide receiver thing, because the reality is, fam, uh, you know, it's a concern. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a concern. Hold on, let me put my. It's obviously a concern because you're dealing with the loss of Jordyn Tyson, uh, and whether you're looking at it, and of course you're thinking, hey man, we got to do something. But you see, Kellen's trying to give the younger guys opportunity to step up. But at some point, if you got a guy that's was listed as the number two guy with Chris Olave, you want to be able to. And I don't know. I don't. Maybe the Saints will sign because these guys that they're looking at, Chase Claypool and the other brother, what's his name? I just forgot his name that damn fast. Josh Reynolds. These guys are not who you would consider like twos, like starting levels right now. Those are veteran depth pieces that come in and help. So Divine Valley will have to step up to two. And then, of course, who's your three? Bryce Lance is still, Barryon Brown is stepping up there. He's been outperforming Bryce Lance. So how do you guys think about that? So, because really, Barryon Brown's really been explosive in doing his thing in training camp consistently, catching passes, living under the light, looking good. So what do the Saints go there? So it's still a lot of time between now and decision time for the Saints to pretty much figure out what they're gonna do there. All right. Anyway, let's keep it going, man, and get back to our list right here. Hold on, let me get back. There you go. At number 11, Ronnie Bell. That's another one. I forgot Ronnie Bell. Ronnie Bell overheats during practice. He was carted off with a heat-related illness. That's interesting. That he must be hot out there in California because he ain't have that issue in New Orleans, but he. That's strange. I wonder what the weather is out there. Is it as hot as what it is down here? That's strange. All right, and then of course the Saints versus Cowboys, the red zone defense responds. So you had the defense bouncing back. The Saints regrouped after three straight TDs in the prior outing, where Dak was stopped. Of the six red zone reps. So he was stopped there. So you've seen those things. The Saints bounce back in that situation. Saints regrouped after the three straight TDs in the prior outing. Number 13, Dak stopped of the six red zone reps. Number 14, Chase Young had a pass breakup and dropped into coverage and broke up Prescott's pass. Number 15, Khristian Boyd, who kind of got pushed down in a touchdown in the previous preseason game, had a decent outing as well. He had the interior rush and forced an intentional incompletion, which was good. Getting internal pressure from the DTs is always a good thing for us. Jaylan Ford had a tackle for a loss. He blew up a Dallas Cowboy run in the backfield, which was always popping. And of course, as we move on to 17 through 20, the Saints versus Cowboys roster and QB watch. 17, Tyson, of course, roughly out for 2 months. 18 veteran receiver workouts. Chase, we covered that with Claypool and Josh Reynolds visiting. For some people on the queue, did they sign anybody? No reports of any signings by the Saints currently, but they're looking. Saints are looking at wide receivers, and I would expect probably any time between now and probably the weekend we might have a wide receiver signing. We had both of those guys. You bring in two veterans to the mix, and you definitely could use a vet. I mean, Chase Claypool is a guy that had some issues and problems. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Chase Claypool is very talented. He's just a basket case. He has certain things. You know what I'm saying? Is he ready to return back to the NFL and contribute? That's the thing. Now, Josh Reynolds would be a good vet to have too. But that's something the Saints wide receiver room definitely could use, is a steady veteran wide receiver that can come in and help improve the room and kind of hold, and keep things together until we get our guy back, because, we still did. And that's the great thing about, what we were talking about previously what Kellen Moore was doing. Like when you start addressing it, and the Saints picked up 3 wide receivers in this past draft, what they did was they got all guys from different sizes, guys that are explosive, that can get upfield, that have a lot of verticality to them, that can hurt you in different ways. With Jordyn Tyson being hurt and missing time for the next two months, according to reports, what that pretty much means is that with all of the other talent that Kellen Moore brung onto the team, we do not lose our verticality. We do not lose our physicality from a wide receiver standpoint. We don't lose any of those things. In essence, we still have those things. And of course, when you bring on, if you bring a Chase Claypool or Josh Reynolds or whoever they decide, to bring on to kind of help everything stay together, it will all amalgamate into something that will still be very good. Now, when we get Jordyn back later on, then we can see some more success and move forward. But it is what it is. And of course, we talk about Christian Miller. He second round draft pick had a shoulder issue. Christian Miller dealing with a shoulder issue. Reports early on it was a concussion. Now it's talking about a shoulder issue. Remember, he's been having that shoulder, and then he's dealt with the shoulder, then the toe. So Christian Miller continues to battle through stuff, and of course the backup battle continues as backup battle continues. Tyler Shuck, obvious to start up, a Spencer Rattler was seen in camp making passes and trying to throw and compete and do what he can do. And of course, no official winner here, but the Saints defense won the finish. No official winner here they want to declare. But the Saints defense really showed up, 5 stops and 6 red zone snaps. That was dominance. And the Dallas Cowboys have to look at that and say, damn, man, we had our ones out against the Saints defense. And you talking about Pickens and these guys right here, but we couldn't finish in the red zone. The red zone was red for the. That's what I was saying. Is we make the red zone red for the ops. And the red zone become the green zone for us. So yes, the Saints did a wonderful job of basically shuttering and shutting down that side of the field, so they couldn't make any points happen, and that kind of sent them back to the drawing board. And ultimately, we'll see these people again. Now, the preseason matchup, we got another scrimmage situation that we'll handle. That'll be coming up, with the Rams later in a couple days from now. But we'll see the Cowboys once again for the final time in the preseason matchup later on, in the final week of the preseason. Now, with that being said, the interesting talking point is what we will see from the Saints coming up here. If you got, and I've said this before, what you've seen in the first preseason matchup where the Saints have physical scrimmages where they're not allowed to tackle people, but you see guys getting pushed down. That's why, according to reports, a lot of the Cowboy people got chippy with the Saints. They got chippy with the Saints because they were, according to reports, were saying that the Saints were tackling their people. So, you're not supposed to do that. Now, we seen footage where a guy was defending the ball, going for the ball, and he might have just bumped into the guy and knocked him down. But they were saying the Saints defenders were tackling their people, and they didn't want that to happen. So, one of the reporters I seen it online referred to the Saints in a joking manner as a dirty team. I don't see it as such, man. You just see guys that's out there getting feisty every now and you get a little. The temp runs a little high, and usually the veterans of the guys say, "Hey, young blood, what you doing? Settle down," whatever the case may be. But it's hard to do that when you're ripping people helmets off and throwing it to the sideline. Yeah. So yeah, that's not a good example to find. But yeah, it's a scrimmage, so no harm, no foul. But nonetheless, we have 2 scrimmages we got the Cowboys, we got the Rams later on, and then pretty much after that, we got the preseason matchup this Saturday against the Rams, and then following week, Friday, the Friday after next, we'll have to take on the Dallas Cowboys. And pretty much what you'll see this preseason game, you won't see any of the Saints starters. I guarantee you that. After them playing 2 scrimmages against the Cowboys and against the Rams, you're not going to see the Saints in preseason. You're going to see a similar setup as you've seen in preseason game 1, because this is what Kellen Moore likes. Kellen Moore feels like this is a way where I can get some good practices in, physical practices where guys are not tackling. I don't have to risk putting my starters, my ones in there and them getting hurt, right? I don't have to risk that for them getting hurt in these practices because they're not allowed to tackle according to what they tell you. But if you go into the preseason game, it's a whole other thing. So it's an interesting way of killing more and how teams are using these scrimmages as a way to not, to get one's reps, right? Now, even though they're not in live game action because they feeling like, uh, you know, the reps do, the ones get a lot of burn anyway. But I still like to see the ones at some capacity, maybe if it's a drive or whatever the case may be, and these preseason games. So I get the science of the scrimmage thing, what he's doing, because even though guys get nicked up and bumped up in these things, it could be a lot worse in these actual exhibition games. So we'll see how it all goes and how it works, man, moving forward. But it's an interesting thing what we see Kellen Moore operating with. And of course, Saints, we talked about the no official winner, 5 stops and 6 red zone opportunities. The Saints defense shut them down. And of course, the offense up and down. Chris Olave repeatedly beat Dallas coverage. He toasted the coverage up and down and all around. But outside of that, not much else was shaking with the Saints offense outside of Chris Olave and Tyler Shuck just repeatedly torching the secondary. The wide receiver depth was stretched thin. Of course, Devon Valley did not play in this scrimmage. He was given a rest day. So the Saints had to use guys like Bryce Lance and others to step in at it, and it really didn't, step up. Bryce Lance, I was looking at footage of him. As crazy as this sound, he was having issues of separation. Now we know Bryce Lance is very quick, but listen, if running straight line speed is one thing, but that's why you run these routes and you do this thing when you breaking down your route, you pause and you stop, you misdirect, and then you fire off, you go full speed. This sort of thing. Not just running a straight line down the field like this sort of that's why route running and the trickery is good when you break down and trick a cornerback and make it, and juke them up, make him think that you're going inside when you're going out or opposite. You see what I'm saying? Showing footwork, breaking it down, and then taking off. That's something that he has to learn because in the NFL, you just can't rely on speed alone. You cannot rely on speed alone. You just can't do it. Guys are quick, and these systems are incredibly smart. Sometimes that will help you, sometimes it won't help you. You got to learn everything. So we're gonna have to keep working with Bryce Lance. Barry Brown seems to be to be ahead of Bryce Lance in that regard. He's ahead of him. You can watch his routes. He breaks his routes down. He's not his routes and his routes tree is not supremely sharp, but you can see a lot of juking and elusiveness in him. A lot of him then pivot, stopping and then firing off, and this sort of thing. And he's not just used in the capacity. He seems to be a lot more loose, and if you know what I mean, because Bryce is a 6'3" wide receiver. He kind of stiff, but that's the thing with Barry and Brown, which Barry and Brown has because his college film, like he was at University of Kentucky in his final year at LSU, he was using a multitude of different ways, whether it's on special teams, used as a wide receiver. They even give him a ball as a running back at times in the backfield, reverses, end arounds. They did all that kind of stuff with him. And so he has, his skill or some of the things that he do is more refined than a Bryce Lance. Now Bryce has the size and the speed as well, and one of the quickest guys on the team, but he has to be able to work on perfecting that route tree and breaking that down and pausing those cornerbacks, those DBs, and then juking them and then boom and taking off. That's something he has to work on because believe it or not, he wasn't getting separation. That's crazy to me, a guy that fast. You might tell him you ain't getting separation. Good Lord. Guy fast as hell. But that just goes to show you got to put the work in because he ain't the only one fast out there. Got a lot of people out there that can move in the NFL, believe it or not. So anyway, fights disrupted the team periods. That was something I wanted to see more. Joint During this joint practice, we know that the Cowboys. We don't hate the Cowboys people. We don't hate the Cowboys people. It's not the same energy. We don't have that much energy to pour into the Cowboys people like we hate the Cowboys people like they have for the Falcons. So we got enough energy to just we don't have enough hate energy to give to multiple people. Come on, that's just not how the Saints roll. We don't do that. we got hate energy good enough for the Falcons. That's all, And the Cowboys, whatever we got left over, it might be a quarter tank or less than a quarter tank, and that y'all can have that. But we can't give 100% hate energy to the Falcons and then turn around and then give less than a quarter tank to them. No, it's not gonna cut it. Anyway, let's finish out with this. Yeah, fights disrupted the team, period. On defense, very resilient. Early Prescott interception, the goal line shutdown was really popping and positive, but the post whistle disciplines. That was a lot of stuff. The fights, like I said, the fights were, uh, uh, you know, people kind of got lost their minds and all this and was just a scrimmage and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, like I said, we have to display, and even though it's practice and all this kind of stuff, and this is when you learn it. This is when you uh, develop the thick skin that you're going to need in the season, because you don't want to have this type of behavior to have you to lose a game behind, like you're getting guys ejected from for multiple games. That's affecting the next week. We got to keep cool heads against teams, and usually the most cool and prepared team usually wins. So if they're all rough and their feathers all ruffled and they're upset and they're mad and we're out there smoothly moving about, more than likely we got up under their skin. We can be able to manipulate and beat that team. If they're that emotionally immature, then we can be able to beat them. But we can't beat them if we behaving like them. So we gotta kind of clean that up. And I'm pretty sure Coach Kellen he addressed that. Now, of course, the standouts we talked about it. Chris Olave, Chase Young had some pressure there. Khristian Boyd had some pressure up the middle. Justin Reed had some plays. Martin Emerson Jr. too. And just when we talked about having players, whether it's Jayden Price or Martin Emerson, we call for and we put the call out. We did Mighty Who That Nation. We put the call out to find defensive backs that can challenge this Yidam guy, because I'm tired of seeing him get burnt. Like I said, he got burnt again in today, but and he is burnt in camp. It's more burntment than anything, if that's a real word. But if it is a real word, you can attach it to him, because he get fricasseed. The guy cannot be counted on, man. I was watching the tape, and I know the Patreon. Shout out to our YouTube and membership and our Patreon champions that watched the film study that we did on the Saints and Jags preseason matchup. And I was pinpointing. I was like, this dude getting juked. This guy missing tackles. He getting passes caught on him. It's just like, why are we paying $2.7 million for this guy? Why are we here? So Martin Emerson is here, Jayden Price is here, and I think they'll make Isaac Yiadom a thing of the past this year. It's just not good. He's just not good enough to be. He shouldn't be here. He's not good enough. I don't want to see these cornerbacks. He just doesn't look confident. He never whips his damn head around. He don't really have closing speed. He's a poor tackler. Why is he here? Is he got something on pictures of somebody or something? I don't know what's going on, but he needs to get the hell up out of here. I'm tired of seeing poor football from that guy. I really am. Of course, injury watch. We talked about Alvin Kamara, knee injury. He left practice, which is something we got to talk about too. The injury, we'll get more on it. Kellen Moore kind of addressed some of this stuff, but we won't know until we get down into it. And of course, we know Alvin Kamara will not play in any of these preseason games, and hopefully this is not nothing that's long term. That he'll be ready for regular season. Quincy Riley had a groin injury. Quincy Riley left practice, so we have two: Alvin with a knee and Quincy Riley, who's a starting cornerback for us with a groin issue. Both of these guys left practice, so hopefully they'll be okay. Quincy Riley is a guy that's been having a pretty good camp. Kool-Aid and him have a good synergy going on right there. Jonas Sanker's been solid as well, but that's why it's so important to have Jayden Price and Martin Emerson Jr. playing as well as they are in camp, because we need that. We're gonna need that, because ultimately, at some point, if you have a cornerback issue, you want to make sure that the guy, that you have a replacement that can come in and step up. And we definitely, I'm glad we are Emerson and Jayden Price is playing better. For real, man. I'm just tired of watching that guy get toasted all the time. All right, but anyway, yeah, that's pretty much I think that's my last slide I got for y'all here. But yeah, outside of that, just kind of readdress this too. The Saints did try these two wide receivers out, Chase Claypool and Josh Reynolds. These are two interesting veteran wide receivers. Chase Claypool is, you know, man, if you can get Chase Claypool to play like a man focused and helm fired, you could end up getting a steal there because he's physical. Um, he's an athlete, and this guy could really help you. But once again, it's about he had the issues and problems with in with prior teams with the Steelers, and ultimately his what he did ended up putting him in because there's no reason why Chase Claypool shouldn't be on somebody's team. You know what I'm saying? We had Cedric Wilson Jr. I think Cedric Wilson Jr. Is he still in the league? I think if he's not, how is Cedric Wilson Jr. still in the league and Chase Claypool isn't? You know, I'm just asking a question. Matter of fact, let me look that up. He bet not be in the league no more. Let me see Cedric. Let me see Wilson Jr. Is he still in the league? Man, you got to be kidding! This goddamn guy with the Detroit Lions. Look at that. See what I'm saying? Yeah, that's right. Cedric Wilson Jr. is with the Detroit Lions. How is Cedric Wilson Jr., as garbage as he is, in the NFL and Chase Claypool isn't? See, it's about the decisions that you make in this thing because he's a physical freak. There's no reason why he shouldn't be in the league. Now, if Saints can bring this guy in here and turn and give him an opportunity and he's focused enough, things should change around, but we'll see. And of course, Josh Reynolds, a guy that's been with multiple teams, both of them been in and out of lineups. And Josh Reynolds could be a guy. He catches, runs good routes. It's a solid veteran that maybe perhaps you add to your room. He can be a guy there. But I think if you look at what the Saints are doing, they're attempting to try to have these younger players, because you bring a veteran, but you want to give the young guy that you drafted an opportunity to develop. You don't want to put a veteran in front of him, like sign a guy, and then the guy, because he's a vet and he's seen some action, you don't want to slide that guy in front of the youngster because you don't want to end up stifling his development or whatever. So you can see Chase Young them, and the Saints got over $12 million in cap. So what they're doing is, you can see they're trying to give the young folks an opportunity, or the guys they have on the team currently, an opportunity to step up. The wide receiver room was designed where that if injuries start impacting and hitting the room, what occurred was that he believes that the room can absorb these injuries to a degree. Because you still got guys that's here. Mason Tipton at some point, maybe he comes back and help. You know what I'm saying? He's a sturdy little guy. He can help out in special teams, and he's a speedster and surefire hands, good route running. He can fit into this thing. So when does he come back, right? Jalen Marino Cropper, we talked about him. We talked about the guy that, Trey Palmer and all these guys. He's giving them opportunities, and like I mentioned, he brung all these guys. He brung in Trey Palmer. He brung in Cropper. He brung in um who else did he? He brung in damn near all these wide receivers except for Kevin Austin Jr. and Bub Means and obviously Chris Olave. All the rest of these guys are Kellen's guys. He brung them in either via trade or waiver wire or draft. So he basically recreated the wide receiver room for the Saints. And as a result, that's what you see today. So he has faith in that wide receiver room. That was his baby. When he stepped in here, he was like, man, we got to do something. He did it. He draft picks, all this kind of stuff, free agents, claim guys, whatever you want to call it, trade. He redesigned that wide receiver room, and he has faith in that room. So we just got to make it to a point, right? All right. Anyway, big ups to you guys. Appreciate you for being in the stream. Big ups to you. Yes, indeed, Gundam. Yeah, Burnt Mint. If Burnt Mint is a real name, it should definitely be attached to Isaac Yidam. Yeah, Burnt Mint, bro. Yeah, this guy, I'm so tired of seeing this guy. Aren't you guys tired of that, man? Aren't you tired of seeing Isaac Yidam totally burnt all the time? Gets burned in practice, he get burned in scrimmage, he get burned in game. I'm just tired of seeing it, man. I don't want to see it in the regular season. I was kind of against them signing him and bringing him back here. The Saints was trying to sign another cornerback, and they couldn't get him, and they settled on him. Y'all put the name of the cornerback in the chat, because I remember covering a story a while ago when they brung him in here last year. and they were trying to sign a cornerback, and the guy, I think it was the guy, one of the cornerbacks went to the Detroit Lions. I think it was a guy that went to one of y'all put his name in the chat. I forget. Gundam say Quincy is growing up before our eyes. Yeah, he's doing. Yeah, he is. Pammy says Yidda means roasted in Swahili. I believe you. Yeah. Isaac Yidam is Swahili for roasted. Yes, indeed. Roasted and toasted. Yes, Slim. Burntfulness. Yes, indeed. That's beautiful. That is a very beautiful word. Yeah, that's Isaac Yidam. Fricassee, burntfulness. uh, let's see. Roasted, toasted, burntfulness, burnt mint, fricassee, fried, sauteed. What else is there? Baked, glazed. Whatever you got, that's what the hell he is. I'm tired of it. Listen, man, I don't really get on these players like that, man. But I'm just tired of it, man. I'm tired of seeing him. And then the Saints spent like real money on Isaac. They spent like 2.7 million. And I'm like, why? Why did you do that? Why did they overspend on? It was a mistake. It was a mistake. It was a mistake, and I knew it was a mistake because when they signed Martin Emerson Jr. and brought him in, I was like, okay, that's you're trying to fix your mistake now. Because when Emerson, because he a fifth year pro, Yidam is almost out of. He's 9 year guy. He's been in the league for 9 years. I mean, he really don't have no speed. He can't. He's a poor tackler. He's not a real good special teams guy. So why are you making this kind of money? I don't understand why is he still here? So you got Jaden Price. You got we talked about Martin Emerson Jr. We talked about even Dallas Beanham. Dallas Beanham, he had 11 tackles in the preseason game. And I'm just like, but that's what preseason for. That's what training camp for. Is to expose these people who don't know what they're doing, who are not good. I don't need to see Isaac Yidam out on the football field getting toasted because he don't know what he doing. Because he laid on an assignment. It's just I'm tired of it, man. Sick of seeing that guy out there getting burnt. Seeing him all up in practice. So if you practice like you play, then isn't it if you getting burnt in practice, you're gonna get burnt in the game? I don't want no guy. I don't want Isaac Yidam practicing getting burnt and then getting burnt in the game. Because like your boy said, who said that? I can't think of the player name. Matavo. I think Matavo said it, and we all know it. He said, you play like you practice," and I've been saying that. I was like, that's true. There's no way you're gonna have a crappy practice and go in there and ball out. It don't work like that. You perfect things in practice. You perfect things. So if you have a knockdown, drag out practice, is supposed to translate to the game. That means you have an understanding of what you need to do. You understand and operate and comprehend situational football. Like if Kellen puts you in a certain spot, like a 3rd and 20 or 3rd and 15, then you have to find out as a way to get them 15 extra yards of situational football. So he prepares you for tough stuff that you will see in the game. That is a prepared coach that goes through situational football. He understands how important that is. That not all the time you're gonna go first down, second down, third down. It don't always work like that. Sometimes you're gonna have a false start and be second and fifth, second and 5. Sometimes you might have something that backs you up to sack. Somebody might get you in and knock your quarterback on his tail, and you lose 8, 9 yards. So it'd be 3rd and 10 or something, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15. You never can tell. So the man practices the situational football just for such an occasion, so you can be able to get that 15 yards back, so that you don't go out there like, I don't know what we're gonna do. No, we practice for this. We're prepared for this. If there's something going on in the building, like you in a building, and they have some kind of fire that happens in the building, then you all know, if you work for a company, that they have on the thing, they tell you, okay, listen, if this happens, and they got the little card by the door, they got the fire extinguishers, they got the fire alarms and everything, the sprinkler systems, all that's in there. But they got the cards. Y'all know that. And when the cards tell you where your roots is, where you got to go. Here's when this happened here, you know, you go out, this is a fire exit. Look, it got a fire sign on the door. It's fire exit over here. They got all that all that's prepared for you. So you understand that. You know what you need to go if something break out in the build. It's the same with them. They understand that's what situational football is, to prepare for the unexpected, which is some of the stuff is expected, but it's to prepare for it so you don't be taken back by it. Then you know what you need to do and how you need to get over the situation. All right, yeah. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate you, man. All right, Bullet Family Vlog, Black Major, Brother Byron. Shout out to you, Brother Slim, Brother Jack. He said this team is looking very competitive. They are. They are. They were chippy today, man. They were chippy. All right, big ups, fam. Just Leo. He said he went to Steelers. He was okay. Yeah, yeah. You talking about who you talking about, Leo? Claypool. All right. Karmic Patina. I hope I'm saying your name. Kamek Patina. Kellen Moore is milk toast soft. No, he's not, bro. Kellen Moore is not soft. Don't let the smooth taste fool you, brother. That's your head. That's your coach. Kellen Moore he ain't no punk now. You know, he's a guy, he ain't no yeller. They got guys that's yellers and they got guys that are pointers. They got guys, you know, something everybody's different. Everybody got a different style. Kellen Moore is not a pointer or a yeller. He's not. What he is balanced. Kellen is, and you'll see him on the sideline. He'll be doing this thing. He'll be pacing back and forth on the sideline. But you don't hear Kellen Moore yelling and fussing at these players. You don't hear him pointing in their face and all that. You don't hear him. And that's what Tyler Shuck said. Tyler Shuck says, Kellen Moore, I appreciate him because of his temperament. His temperament is balanced, meaning Kellen that he doesn't change. Like if he yelling, he ain't yelling at the players. Like he said, Tyler Shuck said that. Like he made a bad pass, and he's like, "Well, Tyler, you wasn't supposed to make that pass." That's how he ain't gonna get up there and yell all up in their face. Why? Coach could just rip. You know what, bro? Let me just sit you down, man. I got the power to sit you down. I know. See, the players respect. They respect a lot of things, but the top of the list for most players is playtime, because playtime means stats. Stats at point mean where you're ranking in terms of your legacy if you're trying to get there, and also stats mean money. It's your contracts of incentive laden, which means if you get 100 catches, if you're a wide receiver, more than likely you get broke off with that paper. So a lot of that stuff is tied to that. So who controls all of that? Kellen Moore. So what need for me to just be all up in your face fussing at you for when I could just rip your ass off there and say, you know what, next guy up. And what you gonna do about it? See, that's power in composure. That's what I started to broadcast and talk about. Like even this is a thing to some of my other people. And I was talking this to my girl. I was saying, listen, and her spirit is way more balanced and than mine. Y'all know I'm kind of tough. But I'm learning, and that's the journey at level 49. I don't call it ages no more. I call it 40. I'm level 49 right now. But this is the thing that's really interesting. Like when you're a composed person, right? Spiritually composed or emotionally mature, as some people will call it, then, immature people's actions won't get to you. It won't trigger you. It won't, because it's something about that being, and see, and a lot of these weaker folks believe that somebody that's kind and composed is weak. No, sir. No, ma'am. No. You got that. That's strength. That's power. It take a lot of strength and power not to pop you upside your goddamn head. So a lot of these people out here are showing strength and composure and class in a way. And even to a degree, when you got people that don't like you, if you're spiritually mature, you'll even pray, say a prayer for them. That's strength and power. They're like, what that mean? Because at some time back in my thinking, I was like, man, I ain't praying for nobody that's trying to hurt or harm me. What? No. But you got to understand, it can't harm you. Ain't no weapon that formed against you can prosper. So if you understand that, you realize that whatever they're thinking about is faulty anyway, ain't going nowhere. So just pray for them because all they're doing is spiritually calling stuff to themselves to harm them. See what I'm talking about? Spiritual maturity. But that's what I'm saying, man. And when I'm saying that is too, because a lot of people have that intestinal fortitude. They call it a lot of things, whatever you want to call it, but they don't let that happen. They don't let it rile them or trigger them. They calm in their spirit. They know how to handle these situations without losing their cool. And when you able to keep your cool, you can approach things logically and you can have more success in life. You won't make as many mistakes when you keep your composure in a difficult situation. That's how you know you really done reached the level when you can maintain and keep your composure in pressurized situations. That's how you know you really arrived somewhere. Just keeping it all the way funky with you, man. That's game. All right. Anyway, shout out to you guys, man. Just wanted to say that, man. Kellen Moore ain't soft, bro. Kellen Moore coming at it, man. That's like Tony Dungy. Somebody saying Tony Dungy is soft. Dungy ain't soft, man. Tony Dungy is not a yeller. He got a different way to reach these players, and his way worked. He don't have to spit and spew like a Bill Parcells or some of these or Marty Schottenheimer. Marty Schottenheimer was a yeller and a pointer, and all at the end of the day, all he ever did was get a red ass face. So I mean, it's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, is it's different status of ways coaches coach people, and some people are not yellers. Kellen Moore's not a yeller and not a pointer, but what you see Kellen do this thing where he sticks his hands out like, what's going on here? But you never see him pointing, yelling, or throwing his hat or losing his cool. He's composed. I can respect that. I really can. I can respect that. All right. Big ups to the guys. All right. Jess Leo says Samuel. Okay, Samuel Jr. was the player. Brandon last year. Okay, yes. Ashante Samuel's son. Okay, there you go. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Was that the guy that was going after? All right. Okay. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man. Richard said, I love McCoy throwing that helmet. Yeah, I said it brought back. I don't know what happened there because this is the picture right here. Well, I think he did it in this picture. That's why I got this freeze frame here. And I think you can see it in the back because he come up out of the strum and he just threw the hell out the helmet. I'm like, who are you trying to reenact Kyle Turley? There he is right there. You see it? There it is right there. He got the damn dude helmet. And look, he just throws it. Okay, Eric, what's going on here, bro? You kind of he took his helmet off and threw it like, man, listen, injuries go away. That's what he did. Look how he did. He just come out of there. You ain't see nothing, and then look, all of a sudden, look. He threw the damn dude helmet. He just threw it. Look at him. A two-handed toss. Oh my goodness, man. These folks is crazy. All right. What's up, Lester? Shout out to you, man. All right. What's up, Feli Phil? What's up, Feli Phil? Good to see you, bro. He said, I think the guy who said Kellen is weak is a Cowboys troll. Oh, okay. Come on, how you gonna call him didn't he come from the Cowboys? Didn't he coach for the Cowboys for multiple years? So y'all hiring soft people? Is that what Schottenheimer is? A lot of people saying Schottenheimer got that job because he's Marty's son. Is that true, Cowboy Nation? Talk to me, Cowboy Nation. Like your boy who be dyeing his hair looking crazy and shit. What's up, Cowboy Nation? Did Marty Schottenheimer, did he get the job because he was his son? Yeah, I don't know. Richard said he level 51 here. There you go, Richard. Shout out to level 51. Level 49, baby. Yeah, Shanti said, thank you, Just Leo, man. Shout out to you. Valdine, what's up, fam? Says Mike Dicker. Okay, yeah, that's right, Val. That's right, Mike Dicker spit and spewed. They ain't do a damn thing for the Saints. All he did was make some of the dumbest moves that ever, the worst, and it's tough to say because we have some pretty crappy coaches. but one of the worst coaches with a Hall of Fame resume that ever coached the Saints was Mike Dicker. He was well past his prime coming here. He came here and set the team back with his dumb decision making. He was awful. He had three quarterbacks named Billy. Well, was it three or two? He had two quarterbacks named Billy Joe, and none of them. And you take both of them and put them together, and they still wasn't. You know what? He had Billy Joe Hobart and Billy Joe Tolliver, and you could put both of them together, and they couldn't be a half a quarterback. And that's who he thought he can win with. Traded the whole draft and a first round draft pick for Ricky Williams, and we had Edgerrin James in the draft. So if he would have passed up on that, he would have still got Edgerrin James, who turned out to have a better career than Ricky Williams. And I think Edge is a candidate for the Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken. Is Edge in the Hall of Fame? He was a member of one of the greatest offensive units that ever was. That was ran with Peyton Manning and Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison. Edgerrin James was there. If he ain't in the Hall, I'm pretty sure he close. But yeah, that if we did not trade the whole draft and the first round draft pick to the next year's draft, the following year's draft, for one player and Ricky Williams had all these mental issues. He came in here, he wouldn't even take his helmet off. They had him like, that's all we need is Ricky Williams. Like, dude, this dude crazy. He picked all these players, passed up on guys that were actually really good, and talking about he picking Ditka players. No disrespect to Chris Naoli. No disrespect to Danny Awful Waffle. No disrespect to Troy Davis. No disrespect to all these other guys. But when people talk about Saints players, those guys don't even come up on the list. Those guys were below normal people that players that we don't even talk about in the Who Dat Nation. So them Ditka guys were awful, man. Smoke says Q. Fuaga got it together. I didn't like that clip. He got beat clean. Yeah, they listen to that. Listen, no, this was good work for Kelvin Banks Jr. and Tali Fuaga. The Dallas Cowboys, man, they got that edge situation together, man. They got some good defensive players on that line, man. The Cowboys got that stuff together. They had Von Miller to go to kind of push them over the level. But the Dallas Cowboys offense was a good offense last year. The defense needed more pressure. The secondary needs some help. They had a solid draft. See, I can give the Cowboys credit. I can give the Cowboys credit. The Cowboys content creators understand that I ain't trying to crap on their team. I respect what they got going on over there. When you building a good football team and you using it and you doing what you're supposed to do, then I got to show you love and respect. You know, I don't have an issue with the Cowboys like we got with the Falcons, right? With the Falcons. So it's all good. But yeah, they have some really good defensive ends, and that's a good work. That's why I got tired of all of the scrums because I really wanted our young tackles to get that, to get that experience against those Dallas Cowboys edge rushers because those guys are actually pretty good. You're going to see some stuff from them this year. Barry, shout out to Barry Knight, man. What's up, my boy? Shout out to Barry. DJS, Dallas Clark. Yeah, Dallas Clark. Yeah, that's right. That was their tight end, Dallas Clark for the Colts. That's right. Jeff Saturday. That's right, Barry. We had if and I don't want to bring it up, but I just whatever reason it just came up with a spitting, spewing ass coach that didn't go anywhere. It was just a horrible time for us, man. Dicker was awful, man. He was just an awful, awful coach for us. Whatever he did with the Chicago Bears, he left whatever good coaching and energy he had there. When we got him, he was way beyond his prime, and we shouldn't have done it. But it is what it is. Jack says picking Dicker players after trading an entire draft and putting a man in a wedding dress is not. Yeah, I don't see. I don't get on Dicker for that because ain't no man supposed to be putting you in no wedding dress and you a man. How you get you to put on? That ain't the worst part. The worst part is he put on a tux and stood next to him with a reggae wig on. How you let that happen? He's standing up there. I'm like, bro, is you crazy? What are you doing? But that's some of that pay to play crap. You see? It's some of that stuff. That's why I say it's a world behind the world. Some people don't see it, some people do. It's all about your awareness and how things operate. There's always a world behind the world. It all depends upon what your vision is, your understanding of how things is, your discernment and your attachment to the Most High and how you see spiritual matters. There's always a world behind the world. It's the stuff that they warn you about that look normal, but some of them are involved. But at some point, I always tell people this, young people this all the time. There isn't any life that's worth living if you compromise yourself. I tell people that all the time because you're going to spend your whole life in that mirror looking at yourself about what you had to compromise to get to where you is. And whatever that was that you did to get there, it will become an abomination, an albatross. It will become something that's cursed that you will see. The value of it instantaneously falls away. And then you will see it as what it is a curse because you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to do it the right way. You're not supposed to make deals that way. And you were warned about that. So not only do you get the cheap and tawdry tool that it is and a luster on it, but you also get the daily reminder of what you did that never leaves you. That's why so many of them have alcohol and drug addiction problems. You see, it's like, how this guy got all this money and he just can't keep it because that's what he wrestling with when he look in that mirror. He understand the damnation that he facing because of what he did. Because what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but to lose his soul? What that mean? They talking about people that traffic and such things. Why? Why they worrying about that? They got it all, but they ain't got souls. Well, who's those peoples? That's the curse that they befall, and that happened to them because of what they did. That's what the Lord removed from them. That's why they traffic in these things. But this is a whole nother conversation that I don't have here. I have it on Patreon. All right. So anyway, big ups to y'all, man. Big J says I was hoping one of them Cowboy players knocked some game into Ruiz during one of the fights. Now, from what I was seeing, Ruiz was pretty stout at the point of attack, man. He was doing this thing, and I haven't heard anything negative about Ruiz, to be honest with you, fam. I hadn't heard anything negative about Cesar Ruiz in, so far the last several days or so at least. Yeah, Jack Caleb Downs got torched. He a rookie, bro. So I expect him to get his comeuppance. All right, yeah, that's right, Big J. The human, yeah, y'all know. That's why your boy, what's his name, the puffy dude. That's what happened to him. Them people had a guy. He had stuff. He had he had weapons with scratched out serial numbers, and they ain't hit him with that charge. What? No, that's the charge. But it's like I said, man. These people, you gotta understand, man. It's temporary stuff. Get it the right way, is what I say. That way you have it forever and you have that life after. You're not supposed to go through this shit. Excuse my French. You're not supposed to go through this school here and cheat like that. And then expect to have something in extra life. This is a twinkling of an eye. This isn't a test. This is a test. This is a test. This is what this is. It's a test. You got to understand that. This is a test. To test your nature, to test who you are. The test if you're going to compromise. The test if you're going to stand 10 toes down. And it's always, if you stand firm and strong, you always going to win. That's what it's about. No weapon. That's the whole bottom line. Shout out to Major. Yeah, Barry, shout out to you, man. I'm on that, man, tonight because, man, yeah, that wedding dress stuff, man. Come on, man. Come on, bro. The people can't, they can't force you to do that. You got to accept that for the money and whatnot. And there's ways, that's all that's temporary. You'll get all of that and then some. You're not supposed to do that. You do it the right way. It might take you a little longer, but I'll tell you one thing, that'll be yours and it won't curse you. Whatever you do, don't, like I be telling people all the time, don't poison your aura by doing negative stuff. Don't do it. Don't do it at all. Keep it real, keep it a buck, and let people who have issues and problems and all that kind of stuff with the stuff, let them work it out. Some people you can help, some people you can't. Just pray for them. Prayer go a long way. I'm telling you, prayer is power, man. If prayer ain't go on, a lot of people are like, oh man, Q, that I don't know about all that. Y'all young, yep. A lot of these people don't understand the concepts of what they're dealing with. Prayer go a long way, man. Some people are designed to go through this stuff. I learned this lesson a long time ago, fam. I'm giving some game that I'm gonna leave right here. Y'all got any questions? I don't want to leave nobody out on any football questions, but if y'all got questions, drop them in the chat. But I learned a long time ago about karma and about stepping in, and y'all spiritual people or intelligent people know you learn this lesson too. I'm talking about lessons from level 49. About when you understand the way you get tested, because everybody go through tests. When you get tested and somebody you asking for people to come and help you, and some people come in to your situation and help you and stop you from going through that test, guess what? The person that did that, because there's ways that you help, but there's ways that you empower too. And you never want to help somebody to the point where they can't walk on their own legs or empower themselves, right? You get what I'm saying? They still have to get the test because the test comes to give them the strength that they need to carry on so they can get to that next level of understanding of all this kind of stuff. Because this is how you grow. You don't just grow, but just by being here. You got to go through experiences, and how you deal with these experiences will determine whether you see them as good or bad. If you're on a high level, you don't see good or bad in terms of experience, because every experience you get a key from it. You get the understanding, the knowledge of the experience, which is supposed to make you better. It's supposed to elevate your awareness level. That's game. So when you get to a certain level, you're going to understand, you know what? Ain't no good and bad. Ain't no good and bad. What you mean Q ain't no good and bad? Because I gained the key. So if I gained, how did I lose? You didn't. You got the experience, you got the knowledge, you're better from it, you got the understanding. It might not have been pleasant. You see what I'm saying? But you gained, you're smarter than what you were before you went through it. That's what I'm saying. But when you if you have a situation, like if you get in between somebody and they supposed to be going through an experience of their own personal test, and you interrupt that test, you going to incur that wrath of whatever's going on. You might have something good going on and maybe you help them out. The next thing you know, your stuff falling down. I'm telling you, you got to be careful of how you help. Game, game. You better be careful how you help. You better be careful of how you help, because these tests were supposed to help people develop themselves. So if you jump in there and stall their development, that's messing the test. That's violating something going on here. I'm telling you, this levels from lessons from level 49 might be a book. might have to put that book together, baby. Richard says Dick and Buddy Ryan both sucked in the 90s. The world had changed and they did not. Yep, 85 was a different league. Peyton may have won long ago, but he has evolved. They did not. Indeed, bro. You're absolutely right. Well, you have um, Sean Payton ran, and Drew Brees talked about this. He said we had the league's top offense for like a 10-year span of time. We were top 10 offense for 15 years. And then that's better than what your boy from the West Coast did, the Walsh guy. We talk about what Walsh did in San Francisco with the West Coast offense. Sean Payton, I'm going from spiritual to football. You see how we rolling today, but also interconnected if you really think about it. But how Payton did it for a 10 to 15-year span of time, it was amazing, because the league is always trying to see what they're doing, trying to copy your stuff and stop it. And he would always change something every year, multiple things every year to keep that offense flowing, and they never could figure it out. Drew talked about that. That was amazing. So yeah, Sean Payton heading into the hall too once he started sitting down. All right, Willie. What's up, Willie? Willie says speaking facts tonight. I'm just giving game, bro. Something on my spirit to put that out there, man. You know, I listen. Val says, Amen, Q. I witnessed it. Yes, or you see, Val, tell them. I'm trying to live for those who don't know or maybe not be aware. Listen lessons from level 49. Listen. You're going to either learn one way. You're going to either go through it or you're going to listen. When you go through it, there's an unpleasantness that you have to go through as well. You see? Or there is no unpleasantness. You can just learn from the lessons of others who are wise enough to share their experiences without an agenda. Lessons from level 49. But anyway, man, listen, man, it's cool. Talking to you guys, dropping facts, football, love, God, all this, man. It's just beautiful. Youngblood says, Q, I may have missed it, but did Kendra Miller and Devin Miller? No, sir, they did not. Shout out to Young Blood. No, they did not. Kendra Miller and Devin Neal did not return, my brother. They did not come back. I've been trying for a long time to figure out what's going on here with the whole thing with Kendra Miller. It's just unfit. It's just Devin Neal. We know Devin Neal. He ain't going nowhere. Devin Neal, even if they have to put him on the open up the season with him on the pup list, we still got him for what, another 3 years, because this is his second year. Kellen drafted him last year out of Kansas. Kansas? Yeah, Kansas. I'm about to say Kansas State. No, he was Kansas. So he drafted him out of Kansas. He in his second year, so he got a longer pipeline. Kendra Miller does not. Kendra Miller, and I talked about this before, has less than 2 weeks to impress the Saints staff. He's on the final year of his rookie contract. He's played in 21 games out of what? 40 plus games. He averaged roughly 7 to 8 games a year when you're playing in a regular season 17 games. So, man, listen, it ain't looking good for the home team. That's why I was like, at some point, when the preseason hit, I was expecting to see either Devin Neal or Kendra Miller activated this week for the preseason game, because I'm just telling you, Audric Estime, the way he got hit in that game, I don't think we're gonna see Audric Estime for a while. He got hit. He got hurt on the check down from Spencer Rattler, and Spencer shouldn't have thrown that pass. I was looking at the footage. I looked at it again today. I like, man, Spencer Rattler should have done that, threw that damn check down pass. I'm not saying he got the man hurt, but he threw him the guy. Man, he shouldn't have threw that check down pass, man, because they had a tight end right there. Just dart. He had the tight end right there. Just dart the damn ball to him, but he just went with the safe move, which is going to be problematic. You can't play it safe like that all the time. You got to lay it out there. When you see wide receivers running one-on-one, that's what Zach Wilson was doing. That's what I was saying the other show when we talked about Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson gave Bub Means and Barryon Brown an opportunity to get the ball up the field. He wasn't dinky-donkey doing. He had a few here and here, but he was stretching the field. That's what got him up the field. That's what got him the yards. And then it's easy to beat that type of quarterback because the defense said, this guy's scared to throw deep. Let's go ahead and move up here. And they crawl all the intermediate area of the football field. Just junk it the hell up. And then you throwing in between there, and you got wide receivers cutting. They got safeties and linebackers in the trees. So what we doing here? If you want to make it easy, you got to throw the ball. He's got to learn that. That's been a criticism of Spencer Rattler. He has to throw the ball. He has to get vertical. You can't run this offense if you don't get vertical. We got too much speed here. You got to be able to throw the ball down the field in one-on-one. You got to recognize the fact that the guy is in a one-on-one matchup and he doesn't have any safety support. There was several opportunities in last week's game he had, according to the film. It's just something that you can't do. But like I said, Audric Estime is not going. I don't think he's going to see no time anytime soon, and which is a shame because according to my count, he was the third back. When you talk about Travis Etienne Jr. and Alvin Kamara, Audric Estime was my tally for the third running back. Kendra Miller was hurt. Devin Neal was out. Then outside of him, you had Ty Chandler, and then you had C.J. Donaldson, the rookie undrafted back out of Ohio State. Audric was running away with it. Now that he's hurt, man, that's a huge loss for us, man. That's a huge loss for us. When Audric hurt that ankle, I was like, oh man. Because Ty Chandler is not made like Audric is a 5'. He's 5'11", about 220, so he's a short back, maybe a little shorter than that, I think. He's about 5'10" or something like that. But he's a short back that's compact, that got power. Ty Chandler not made like that. Ty is a 5'11", 205-pound guy. He's a scat back. C.J. Donaldson is 6'1", 230 pounds, so he's a north-south runner, but he's still a rookie. So they serve you in different ways. So I wonder if the Saints are going to ultimately decide to go and pick somebody up, or if one of these guys are healthy. I'm like, why are they not making a move with the running backs? They might foresee one of these guys, if not both of them, returning to practice this week, maybe next week. I don't know, but it's not the same energy as what it was when you seen Jordyn Tyson get hurt, Jalen Polk retire, Mason Tipton hurt. Then you see the stuff happening. Then they said then they have two veteran wide receivers, not some undrafted guys that you never heard of, but two veteran wide receivers in for tryouts. They didn't do that for the running back position, so perhaps they see or foresee one of these Devon Hill or Kendra Miller coming back. I don't know. We'll wait and see. We'll see. OG says, "Is it true that Kamara will miss a few weeks?" I haven't heard that, OG. I haven't heard that. I did cover the report. I heard him that he left practice with an ailment. Let me see if I can bring that card up again. To show some of the family members some of the stuff that we seen happen here. Thank you, OG. I'm gonna have to check on it, my boy. But yeah, this is pretty much what I seen, bro, right here. That Alvin Kamara had a knee injury. He left practice, and Quincy Riley also had a groin injury. So it's unfortunate, but we're gonna have to wait and see how this goes. But yeah, this is these injuries are really becoming problematic, bro. I can understand why you're mad. I know, OG. Yeah, it's really uh getting problematic because we haven't even gotten to the second preseason game yet. We haven't gotten to the second preseason game and we seeing all this stuff happen. So it's weird, man. Very weird. All right, fam. Listen, man, that's all I got for y'all today. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in the broadcast, man. As always, man, you guys, it's always cool to talk about life and football with the fam. Man, listen, today it was a scrappy affair with the Dallas Cowboys a couple of days from now. Hold on, let me bring up the card, fam, for the so I can kind of keep the family member on game. Yeah, this is kind of keep our mind understand what's next. You know what I'm saying, family? This is a card. That's how we keep it all organized here. Yesterday is August the 18th, and this is the schedule right here. Is the road to week number one, Saints training camp. Brought to you by Sports Coma. Hit the like button, hit the sub button, sub up, and hype the stream, man. Hype the stream, hype the stream. Share the stream, Big Q, Sports Coma, representing the mighty Who Dat Nation. This is the road to week one. California, August the 17th through the 23rd is currently where we are right now. August the 18th, we talked about that. The practice, hey, it went crazy today. The 19th, the Saints have a walkthrough and some film work, so very light day after a physical scrum with the Cowboys. Then August the 20th, they back at it. They got a closed practice with the Rams. So that's a whole nother thing. The Rams bringing it. They got all these other people in there. You got Myles Garrett, and the Rams are picked as one of those top teams there, man. We more than likely, I'm gonna see, fam. I might have a preview stream coming up soon with a Rams content creator breaking down this matchup, man. I'm gonna see if I can make it on my schedule over the next 3 days. It's kind of difficult, so I'm gonna see if I can squeeze that one in, even if I gotta record it and release it later prior to the matchup. We're gonna have to do that. But yes, indeed, that'll be August the 20th to close Rams practice. August the 21st, they have another walkthrough, and ultimately, coming up on Saturday, they'll take on the Rams in SoFi Stadium at 3 p.m. kickoff time, Central Time. There, then you see the 23rd, they have a little recovery, and ultimately they end up coming back to the Big Easy. They'll have some more work, and then that starts what we call the Texas side of things, right? From August the 24th to the 30th. They have some install on the 24th. The 25th is the pads and depth evaluation. There's an open practice on August the 26th at Yeoman Stadium, 7 p.m. time. Couple of years ago, I want to say they did them in the Superdome. I went to a few of them in the dome, which was actually pretty cool because I remember they get the best turnouts. They'll have 30 to 50,000 Saints supporters in the Superdome, man, on those practices, just watching the team practice because we just diehards like that. We support our squad. Then August the 27th, we travel to Dallas, and then August the 28th at Cowboys AT&T Stadium, 7 p.m. kickoff time, Central Time, right? And also in that week, I'm gonna have a preview with a Dallas Cowboy content creator as well. We're working that out right now, trying to get all that stuff worked out behind the scenes. And of course, then it segues to August the 31st to August the 6th. August the 31st, they have the roster meetings. And then the following day, they have the 53-man cut downs from 90. So the Saints have to trim that roster down from 90 players to 53. And of course, September the 2nd, you'll see the waivers and practice squad additions. And from the 3rd to the 6th of September, they switch into regular season mode and get ready with the newly constructed 53-man roster to get ready for the matchup in Lions week against the Detroit Lions in week number 1. September the 7th, the installs, the player off days, the first injury report comes out on September the 9th. It's just a lot of stuff before the Saints hit the road September the 11th and travel to Detroit for a matchup with the Detroit Lions at Ford Field on September the 3rd, the first regular season game there. So I'm breaking it all down in weeks and letting the family members know, hey, man, this is what it's looking like coming up from now and over the next few weeks. That's a lot, huh, fam? My goodness, that's a lot. That's a lot right there. That's a lot. Goodness. All right. Nonetheless, man, listen, I appreciate y'all for chiming in, man, on this broadcast. Hit the like button. Also, shout out to, and my internet's not the best tonight, and I apologize for that, fam. But FanDuel 2026 NFC South, it's the what you call it, the line. Tampa Bay plus 200, Saints plus 240, Atlanta plus 310, Carolina plus 330. FanDuel, the official sponsor of the show. All kind of bets going on at FanDuel Sportsbook. Check them out, man. Win you some money and bet responsibly. So with that being said, man, listen, I'm going to cut out on that, man. I shall return, man, tomorrow. Y'all, just a programming note. For the family members, we're working on getting the NFC South Roundtable. I know a lot of people have been constantly asking me about the NFC South Roundtables. I had family members that super chatted me to find out, hey, Q, when is the NFC South Roundtables? We do the best roundtables because the brothers have a lot of respect for each other. We got the first one that I talked to Lo. I was like, Lo, we ain't doing one in a while. Yeah, the last time we did an NFC South Roundtable was after the draft, that's too long, man. So we're trying to work it out now to be more consistent with these roundtables, because the roundtables is fire, man. We do the best roundtables. Been doing it for a long time, so that's why we're so good at it. But be looking out for that. That could be this week. So keep your fingers crossed on that. We're working behind the scenes to make that work and make the schedules work. So be looking out for that. All right, so that's all I got for y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, hype the stream, and I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. Much love, peace, and who that too.
Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Alvin. Thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, running like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thewhodatdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thewhodatdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.